YouTube truckers and trucker ladies worldwide. It's your boy, your man, Royals, the oft imitated, never duplicated, the one and only Enrique Prince, also known as Prince the Trucker, and we are back with another video from the open road. And today I'm going to be talking about something that I feel like is very serious, something that every trucker, every future trucker, and honestly everybody needs to understand when it comes to life. You know what I'm saying? Why small goals, consistent progress, and refusing to stay stagnant is one of the most important mindsets you can have, not only in this industry, but in life. Listen, if you ever felt stuck, if you ever felt like you're doing a whole lot, but not getting anywhere, trust me, this video is for you. So buckle in and let's roll. Let's have a real conversation, man. Prince the Trucker. All right, truckers, welcome back to the channel here. Once again, Prince the Trucker. Thank you for your viewership, your support here on the content. It is definitely appreciated. Take a second, hit that pause, hit the like button if you haven't, hit that hype button, and subscribe to the channel if it's the first time you're catching the video here on the channel. But look, we're going into the year 2026. It is the last month of 2025. Christmas is right around the corner. And I was thinking about a royal conversation and a topic that I wanted to have with you all, ending off the year. And as I told you guys in past videos, my year has been very productive. I've gotten a lot done, and I've been able to establish myself in this trucking game and, you know, realign my life and put things back in order. And that's huge for me, you know. So I just wanted to get on here and offer a word of encouragement for anybody who may feel like me or is starting off the process for their progress in this season. You know what I'm saying? If you are about to get into a truck or you're considering getting into a truck, the time is now. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it so that you can be like me, a truck driver, or do what I do. I'm saying it because if that's what you choose to do, it's gonna definitely mature you in ways, as I've stated before, that you didn't even foresee for yourself. And it's gonna come with challenges, you know, again, as we always talk about, socially, relationship wise, family wise. And I just wanted to have a real conversation and re-encourage you that your progress is your process. And if you've started the process, you're winning. You know, a lot of people have opportunities in their life and they allow external forces and external feelings to stop their progression because we care a lot about what people think of us. And I know you might be like, yo, Prince, nah, I didn't even, like, you feel me? I don't care what nobody think about me. I'm going to do me. I'm going to be me. Okay. At the end of the day, if that's the case, then if you're not happy with your current situation of life and how things are going, then why haven't you changed things? You dig? So one thing that separates trucking from every other career, if this is what you decide to do, is the mindset you got to build out here. We always talk about the mindset here. That's very important. You know, most jobs that you go to, they have a different code of conduct. Now, it's not every job, but we're talking about the average job, right? You know, you're in a warehouse somewhere or whatever the situation is. A lot of these jobs, you can zone out and be out the way. You know, trucking doesn't work like that. You know, most jobs let you slide by and do whatever you want to do, and trucking doesn't. You know, not up front. When you make the time, you have the time. But a lot of the time, your energy and your focus is in real time. So what do I mean by that? Well, you're running big machinery. You're driving a big rig. You're handling freight. You're dealing with the weather. You're juggling schedules. You're battling fatigue. You know, it's real out here. And because of that, trucking teaches you something very powerful. And to me, it shows you that if you're not growing within not only the process, but within your life, essentially you're falling behind. You know what I'm saying? Every day on the road is a chance to improve yourself and your situation. Every mile that you drive is a moment to think about where you're at now and building your future. Every delivery that you drop is a chance to get better within the craft. But too many truckers or too many drivers get stuck in the same routine, not only in the job, but in life. And they have the same habits, the same mindset. And that's when you start feeling stagnant within your process. That's when you start getting comfortable. That's when you start questioning your purpose. And like I said, it's not just in trucking, but in life in general. Think about it. Let's think of it from this perspective, right? Naturally, people think that success is all about accomplishing the big goal, the big thing, right? Like, for example, in trucking, right? Getting your own truck. Like, you have to be an owner-operator to reach the highest level and be in the highest rank of trucking. You know, you got to hit 6 figures. You know, if you're trucking, you got to buy land. If you're trucking, you got to be on social media building a brand. And I'm not going to lie, like, yeah, you want to be able to accomplish those things. But the reality is that's part of the process of progression. Those things come later. Keep in mind, before you can accomplish the big goals, you got to master the small goals, right? And I think that's what a lot of us forget in these times. Yeah, those big things you want to accomplish, you should have that on the back of your mind, on the forefront. But there's a process to get there. There's a progression that you have to partake in for it to get to that point. Just because you're driving a truck doesn't mean you're going to come out the gate buying your own truck. Just because you're driving a truck doesn't mean, and you got a couple thousand in the bank, now you can come home and buy acres of land. You know what I'm saying? There's steps to this process. So you can't forget about what got you here, which was the small goals. You know, small goals in your life keep you grounded. The small goals is what keeps you consistent, keeps you hungry. The small goals create those daily wins within your life that give you the motivation to keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so what are some examples of small goals, right? Like, when it comes to trucking, just being on time for your load, establishing that rapport with your company, doing the small things to show them that you deserve to be here. You know, maybe doing your pre-trip without skipping steps just because you want to do the right thing within your own process and make sure that, you know, your rig is operating the way that it should. Maybe it's saving $20 more this week than you did last week because you're financially in tune with yourself and you want to start saving more money. For some people, maybe it's eating better on the road, making better health decisions, starting to work out while you're out here. You know what I mean? And maybe for the aspiring driver, someone who knows that they're nervous and they don't know how to back up a truck, maybe it's challenging yourself every chance you get to practice your backing every day. You know, these are just a couple of examples of small goals that you can achieve and help build momentum, right, towards your confidence in everything you do. So in saying that, we all understand that no one sees success immediately. But what you will start to notice is that you see daily improvements within yourself. You can start to feel yourself getting sharper at what you do. You can start to feel your confidence go up. You can start to feel your stress levels in life going down because you're involved with the progression of your process. you can start to see your money getting right? Uh, you can start to see that you're managing your time a lot more efficiently. And to be honest, without even noticing, at certain points, you'll feel the level up. It's like you're going down the path of what you're trying to do and you're putting in the work. So you'll start to feel the effects of the level up. It's just how it goes. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, that's how every real trucker, every real individual human being grows in life. Is they take small steps that eventually turn into big changes. All right, YouTube. So aside from setting goals for yourself, the small goals in life, I want to flip the coin real quick and talk about why I feel like the spirit of stagnation is a silent killer, right? If you're thinking about getting into trucking at the end of the year and there's nothing holding you back, you just haven't pulled the trigger, that's what I'm saying. Don't be stagnant. Move forward with your process so you can start to progress, especially if you've already processed everything in your life about making change. Because one thing about being stagnant, it doesn't necessarily mean that your situation is getting worse. But what it does mean is that it's not getting any better either. You feel me? And in trucking, just like in life, staying the same for too long will eventually put you behind the curve. You know, when it comes to trucking, the industry changes, regulations change, rates change, the money changes, equipment changes, opportunities change. So if you don't grow with your livelihood, which is this trucking, or whatever you choose to do in life, the reality is you just get stuck. And once you're stuck, it gets real hard to get unstuck. It's just a fact. And you know what the worst part is? Most people don't even realize that they're being stagnant until it's too late. They wake up one day and say, damn, I'm in the same spot that I was 3 years ago. Now, here's the cool part though, is once you start racking up the small wins, achieving the small victories in your life, you start winning bigger, right? The momentum that you start to build for yourself becomes very real. You hit one goal, then you hit another, then you hit another. What starts to happen is you really take believing in yourself to a whole nother level. You start moving different. You start carrying yourself with a different purpose, right? You go from just being someone who wanted to be a driver to a trucker, to being a professional, to being a businessman or woman behind this wheel. Now, if you're an aspiring trucker and you like, yo, Prince, the trucker, I hear what you're saying, man. How do I start? How do I start developing better habits within myself? Well, here's my advice. Identify one thing that you can improve on today and this week. Not 10 things. Don't overload yourself. Not 5. Don't try to change your life in the course of a week. But just one. Maybe it's the way you manage your time. Maybe it's the way that you're disciplined with your money. Maybe it's your health. Like I said, maybe it's the actual skill set. Learning how to back, being confident in doing the job. You know, break those thoughts into daily actions. Force yourself to do the things that you're thinking about, that you know would improve your progress in life. If you want to save money, you know, your daily goal should be to not spend unnecessarily that day. You feel me? If you want to get better at backing, when you park into a truck stop, the first thought you should have is, instead of parking somewhere where I don't have to back up, let me put myself through the process. Face that fear. You know what I mean? If you want to improve your health on the road, it could be something as small as, I'm going to drink water all day instead of soda. I'm not going to drink no soda, no juice. Water all day. You know what I mean? And if you're the type of person who can start to implement that if you need to, hey, track your progress. This is where most people and even truckers fall off, right? They don't keep track of their process. Write it down, keep notes, make a voice note on your phone to remind you. Make sure that you're reminding yourself of the progress that you're making and the challenges that you're facing, and don't forget to celebrate the small wins. You know what I'm saying? If you've been doing everything right for 2 months and you want to go buy them new pair of Jordans, or you want to treat yourself to a steak, do that. It's okay. And yes, I know during this process, there are going to be times where you feel tired or burnt out. Some days you're going to be mentally done. You're just going to feel like you ain't got nothing left in the tank for nobody. But let me tell you, that's why I said earlier in the video, the small goals will save you within this process of your progression. Because even on your worst day, you can knock out something small. I don't care if that's cleaning your truck, reorganizing things, doing a little bit of study on the industry, the market, you can do something small. And when you do that, when you feed and invest into yourself, spiritually, mentally, financially, and physically, you keep your momentum alive. Progress doesn't stop just because you're tired. You know what I mean? Just scale it down a little bit. Small moves, but same direction. Just remember this. When you refuse to be stagnant, you automatically separate yourself from 80% of the people and the truckers that you might encounter in your life. Most drivers, truckers, and people want to improve, but they never take action. Most truckers want to make more money, but they don't change their habits. Most truckers want to level up, but they don't level up mentally. But from me to you, if you're watching this channel, you're different. You are built to grow, and you are built to elevate. So here's my challenge for you all today that want to see progression in your process and do not want to be stagnant any longer going into 2026. Set one small goal for yourself today, whether it's putting in that application, putting down the blunt, starting to save more money, whatever it is, something simple, something achievable, something that pushes you a little out of your comfort zone. And then once you've grasped that, the next day, set another, and then another small goal for yourself. And keep stacking them like dollar bills. You know what I mean? Do that long enough, and trust me, you won't recognize the person that you become. My advice, keep growing. Keep pushing. Don't get comfortable, and don't stay stagnant. We're going into 2026, y'all. I just want the best for you. I don't want you to be distracted by all these people, all this content you might see on YouTube. Like I said, my job is to get on here and give you some motivation and inspiration for your situation. And I hope we've done that with this video. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that hype button, subscribe to the channel if anything resonated with you or if I've added value to your thought process. And as always, stay safe, stay focused, and keep trucking. Start to imitate it, never duplicated, the one and only Enrique Prince, also known as Prince the Trucker. You do understand that though, right? I'm out of here. Peace.